to our review of BSK1 topics. BSK1 stands for Basic Math Skills. This particular video, there is nothing in the OpenStax textbook for practice problems from the cumulative review, so I'm going to review these problems off of our sample test that we had for BSK1. Let me go ahead and do these 13 problems with you. We're going to look for the place value in which the digit 9 appears. The digit 9 is right there. This is units, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10 thousands. This is the place value. We're going to write the next problem out in words. So we have tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000, units, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions. So this is 7 million. 8,000. 400. 53. We don't use the word and anywhere when we write this because the word and is going to come up later when we have a decimal point in the problem and we say and when we see the decimal point. Don't use the word and anywhere else because you'll confuse people and think that there's a decimal point in the problem where there's not a decimal point. Now we're going to take this number that's written out long and we're going to write it in standard form like we saw before, 472,307. There we go. Now going to add these two numbers together. 472 is added to 789. We add them. 9 plus 2 is 11. We're going to carry. 8 plus 7 is 15, plus the one that we carried is 16. 7 plus 4 is 11, plus the one we carried is 12. So we get an answer of 1,261. Now we're going to find the perimeter of this square. Remember that the square has the same distance on all sides. So we can either add 11 4 times, or we can multiply by 4. I'm going to multiply by 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 4 is 4. Feet times feet. When we are getting, I'm sorry, feet plus feet plus feet plus feet. We're not multiplying to get area, but we're adding here. So we have 4 times, let me write it this way, 11 feet, 4 feet, 4 times 11 feet is 44 feet. That's what I'm trying to say. Keep your units because your feet are part of the answer. Okay, another way that we could do this to make sure we got it right, 11 feet plus another 11 feet. It's going to give us 22 feet. Then we're going to add another 11 feet to that for the third side. Going to give us 33 feet. And our last side is another 11 feet. And we have 44 feet is our final answer. Again, don't leave your unit off. It's part of your answer. Okay. going to scroll on down here. Now we're going to subtract. We're going to start with 428, and we're going to subtract 183. When we take 3 away from 8, we're left with 5. We can't take 8 away from 2, so we're going to have to borrow 10 from the hundreds. And I'm just going to put 1 next to the 2 to represent a 12. 12 minus 8 is going to be 4. 3 minus 1 is going to be 2. That's going to be 245. Now we're going to multiply 408 times 17. I'm going to use the lattice method to do this. 7 times 8 is going to be 56. 0 plus 5 is 5. 7 times 4 is 28. I'm going to erase this little carry that I made here. And I'm going to put a 0 in for the ones because I'm sliding over to the 10 spot. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 4 is 4. I'm going to add. This is 6. 13. 1 plus 8 is 9. 2 plus 4 is 6. There's other ways that you could multiply that would be correct. If you know your distributive property, for instance, you could have 408 on the outside, and you could have, say, 10 plus 7 on the inside. Or you could have made the inside 20 minus 3 would also be correct. Either one of those would work. I prefer to multiply by 3 instead of multiplying by 7 if I can get away with it. So I'm going to take this form here and say that I'm going to put a 0 as a placeholder, then multiply by 2. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 0 was 0 with the one that I carried is the one there. 2 times 4 is 8. Minus, now I have 3 times this. 3 times 8 is 24. Again, I carried where there was a 2 here. 3 times 4 is 12. And if I find this difference, it should be the same. And I borrow, this is 6. This is 3. This is 9. This is 6. So we should have gotten the same answer when we used our lattice method or when we used our distributive property. It should not have mattered whether we started off with our distributive property with 10 times and then did 7 times and added. But all 3 ways we got 6936. They're all correct. It's one of the fun things about math is that you can use many different ways that are correct to solve a problem like that. If you can think of a different way, maybe you can come and show us in Math Central. All right. Now we're going to find the area, and when we find area, this is multiplication. So we're going to take these 8 inches and these 18 inches. So 18 inches and 8 inches. We're going to multiply them. So when we multiply inches by inches, we get square inches. We get 64. 8 plus 6 is 14. We have 144 square inches for our area. Now I'm going to do some division. In BSK1, we just do remainder division. We don't do decimals. We don't do fractions. We just do remainder division. So 7 is going to go into 924. So 7 goes into 9 one time. With a remainder of 2, bring down the 2. 7 goes into 22 3 times is 21. The remainder of 1. Bring down the 4. 7 goes into 14 2 whole times. There's a remainder of 0 left over, so we're not going to write a remainder. If there had been a remainder left over down here, we would just write R with the remainder for right now. Now we're going to find the average of the given numbers. So we're going to add up those numbers, and then we're going to then divide by the number of numbers that we have added up. So we've added 4 numbers. I'm gonna have to do this addition before I can do this division. 4 goes into, and then left over here, I'm going to do 17, 28, 53, and 6, 9, 17, and 7 is 24. This is 3, 5, and 5 makes 10. This is 1 of 4 on the inside. 4 goes into 10 2 times. It's 8. Difference of 2. Bring down the 4. 4 goes into 24 6 times. With no remainder, so our average value is 26. On to our last few problems here. We're going to simplify using our order of operations here. 10 plus 6 divided by 10 plus 16 divided by 4 times 9 minus 7. So we're going to do our multiplication and division first from left to right. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. 4 times 9 gives me 36. 10 plus 36 is 46. 46 minus 7 is 39. So I want you to show those in steps though for your teacher. Don't cross things out like I just did. 10 plus 16 divided by 4 times 9 minus 7. Change only one thing at a time. So we're going to do these two first. And we're going to do these two. Then we're going to do these two. And we're going to end up with the final answer of 39. Okay. Number 12, we're going to round the whole number to the given place value. So we want to take 786 and round it to the nearest 10. Since this is the place value you want to round to, so we're going to look at this one to decide. If this place value here is 5 or greater, which it is, we're going to round up. If this had been a 4 or less, we would round down. We're always going to end up with a 0 in the place value before it, so this would have rounded to 780. If it had been 784 or below here, to between, if it had been 780 to 784, it would have rounded down to 780. If it was 785 through 789, it would have rounded up to 790. So we rounded up. Now we've got a piece of cloth that's 18 inches long and has to be cut into 8-inch strips. How many 8-inch strips? You're only counting whole 8-inch strips. You don't want fractional parts. You're going to have some scrap that's left over that you don't care about. So we have 8-inch strips that are going into 180 inches. 8 goes into 18 2 times. That's 16 with a remainder of 2. Bring down the 0. 8 goes into 20 2 times is 16. Remainder of 4. Don't worry about this 4. It's scrap. Our answer that we wanted here is that we can get 22 8-inch strips. Okay, there you go. That answers that question. That is the end of our BSK1 review material. See you in the next video.